Hey guys, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on another Dialogues That Matter, a series where we bring you conversations that we have with different change makers. To that effect, we are celebrating World Elderly Day on October 1st, and subsequently, the entire month is also celebrated as World Elderly Month. We have someone really special who's doing really great work for a very long time in that sector. I'd like to welcome you, Mr. Sailesh. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody.
I must say it's an honor and pleasure for us to have you, and for the amount of work that you've done and the accolades that you've got, which I'm going to talk about in an instant. It really gives us immense pleasure and joy and pride to host you and have this conversation with you, because we do believe that it's important to have this conversation around how even the elders require care and a right to live a
Mm,
dignified life, irrespective of age, right?
yes.
This is Sailesh Mishra, who is the founder of Silver Innings, founder of Silver Innings. He was born in Mumbai. He was brought up in Mumbai, and he's a social entrepreneur and a mentor. He's the founder of Innings Group, like I said, which is basically a community that's dedicated to senior citizens in India. And they primarily believe that aging needs to become a positive and rewarding experience, which unfortunately is not the case. And Sir has here won a lot of accolades. To name a few, he's won the national award, which is the Karamveer Puraskar in 2008 and the Karamveer Jyoti in 2016. And the list just goes on and on. But I think I will start a conversation and let the conversation speak for itself. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, sir. And I'd like to begin by understanding, help us understand this term, elder care or elder population that is there, and talk to us a little about the elder population in India, right? Because the truth is, like you told us, India is growing at a faster rate than we think, and we're getting older faster than we
Mm,
think. Could
yes.
you talk to us a little about that?
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. This is wonderful for not only me, but for senior citizens. Aging the cause in India.
Right,
Uh, Very few people talk about aging and senior citizens.
right,
And being a youth, I think you are an inspiration platform like yours. Let me also tell you the 1st October is World Senior Citizen Day or International Day of Older Person. And this
right,
program is for that to create awareness.
right,
Let me come back to aging. I think we need to understand who are aged, who are senior citizens. The
right,
definition country-wise might be different, but
right,
for the country like India, it's 60 plus 60 in
right.
government term, and
Mhm.
where people get officially retired from life.
Right,
Actually, it's for work, but people also get retired from life. They
right,
think I'm senior.
right,
We'll talk later.
right,
But we need to understand as a country, we are growing old. At present, we are 10% of the population, 60 plus, around 150 million. That means around 11 to 12 crore people are senior citizen.
right,
And also, as countries developing faster, there are younger population. In fact, 65% population is 35 and below age. But let me tell you, all these young people also going to grow old one day.
right,
So the way the things are going up, I think it's scary. Still, India needs to wake up. Western countries, what happened is they become rich first and then they got old.
right,
We are getting older faster and then we'll get rich. So the
right,
dynamics are different. They are
right,
prepared. We are not prepared here.
right,
And other side is feminization of aging. This
right,
is a neglected part. Many
right,
um, there are many women, ladies, females who are aging and they live longer than male. And why India is aging? Because the standard of living is improved,
right,
healthcare has improved. Uh, People are more aware about the fitness, so we are living longer. So
right,
when we live longer, the problem will be higher also because there will be a medical problem, there may be economic problem, there may be social problem. As a
right,
country, we are not prepared. One thing again, only 10% of this 11 million people have some kind of pension.
right,
90% of senior citizen in India doesn't have any kind of social security. They
right,
don't have pension.
right,
One more side is 65 to 70% people live in rural area.
Right.
in Indian context. So we don't know what is happening in the rural India, because
Right.
we are migrating.
Right.
As youth, we are migrating from village to cities. So we are living back our parents. It's not purposely we are doing that. We also need to work. We need to have a career. So we are going out, but we are living the parents at rural area. So there's a dynamic in rural and urban sector. But India is growing, so there will be 50-50% rural and urban population also. Then
Right.
comes mental illness, dementia, which I always talk about. 4% of this 11 million people are, that means 43 lakhs people are some form of dementia. Dementia is a forgetfulness disease where there is a behavior problem. So slowly, if we say India is growing older, but people are not very aware. We are very have chalta kind of attitude, Okay,
Right.
so what? We are a young country, we are enjoying a life, but we are forgetting the elders. We need to government. We need to build a society where elders are looked after, and you and me also going to grow old.
Right.
So when we grow old, what kind of thing we have for us?
Right. I think a lot of those stats that you gave us kind of helps us understand and at the ground level what the reality is and how it's right now that we need to take steps for the elder. And like you're saying, you and me are also going to get old someday, right?
Yeah.
So what led you to start an organization like Silver Innings?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right.
I'm a accidental social entrepreneur.
Right.
I come from a small village called Palghar near Mumbai. I come from the very humble background of agriculture family.
Right.
I wanted to do my graduation in English, so I came to Mumbai to get myself graduated. And I, like all of us, all youth, I also never bothered about social cause or seniors or disability. I was just working, having my life. I got married, so I got involved in that race of earning for livelihood. And 17 years I worked for corporate world,
Right.
earning my family for my family and trying to do what things I needed. I never paid attention to social cause, but because I come from the village,
Right.
because my mother always taught me you have to do something for others. There
Right.
is there is India which is waiting for you. So I had something in my blood which says I need to do something for the country. So
Right.
that was something. So I had a lot of free time when I used to do my corporate work. So
Right.
I one day I happened to go to Dignity Foundation, is one of the India's largest organization that works for senior citizens. I went for volunteering, and they offered me a job,
Right.
and that was my turning point of my life. And when I worked in Dignity, and I came across for so many people, I realized there is something called senior citizen.
Right.
There are grandparents. There are people who have issues with children. They have issues with finance. They have issues with health.
Right.
There are people who are enjoying their life. They are dancing. They are playing music. There's a dementia. There's not many things happening. So I
Right.
thought this is one sector which needs me,
Right.
because I utilize my PR and marketing skill for aging. So
Right.
that leads me to start Silver Innings. Silver is a gray hair, innings is the second inning. So
Right.
it's about second chance for your life. So that's why we started Silver Innings.
Right. Right. Also, I think when we talk about elder care and the way we must treat elders and understand that after 60, like you just pointed out, it just means that they perhaps stop working. It doesn't mean their life ends there, right? Or their right to live ends there, right? To that effect, could you talk to us a little about what is what is the perspective or mindset of people, and why is it required for organizations like Silver Innings to kind of step in and be the mediator per se?
Yeah, I think this is the biggest problem, especially in the country like India. We have this culture of Vanprastha or seniors where we respect seniors. So senior after 60s are retired. They should, we all tend to do, oh, mama, dad, don't work, sit at home, enjoy your life, watch television, do puja, chat with friends. This is not, because we are not dying at 60 or 50. We'll
Right.
die, we'll not die, we'll live for 100 years.
Right.
So we are living longer. So
Right.
30, 40 years, what you're going to do after 60? Are you just going to do puja part? Are you going to watch television or just have some prapanch somewhere? No. We have to live. And as I said earlier, the retirement is for 60 years is only on papers for the jobs.
Right.
It's not retiring for your life.
Right.
So loneliness, isolation will create a depression for you if you're
Right.
alone. And if you notice, your mother retires? No. Farmers of this country retire? No. So why we want to retire, right? So senior citizen, the government, the society should also give chance to participate for elders in the mainstream. Senior
Right.
citizens should come out. They should have this right of dignity, right to live. In Article 14, I think there is right to live. I think in the Constitution is mentioned. So senior citizens should live life as they want. They have done much for the community, for the society, for the family. After
Right.
60, it's your time.
Right.
It's your time for hobbies, skill, to contribute, to live your life. Live your life as you want and without expectation.
Right.
Don't expect my children will look after me. No. Why they should look after you? You should look after yourself. You should be independent and create an environment where you can help other old senior citizens, where you can help a poor senior citizen, who you can help other 80 plus old person who is bedridden, or you can help a community. So you are still a person, you are still a citizen of India, you are the part of this world, you are going to live longer and be happy and do things what you want after 60.
Right. Right. Uh, I think at this point, I'd like to raise a point that you brought out yourself, which is that, with old age, there's a lot of difficulties or a lot of challenges that one has to encounter, right? So whether it's physical challenges, whether it's health challenges, or, because like you said, a lot of times as an elderly, you tend to be alone, or, as a consequence, it leads to loneliness. What are those things, and how does that affect perhaps the mindset or the way we treat uh, elderly, and why is it primarily even more important for us to support them at that age?
Yeah, because as you grow old, remember every living being in this world is going to grow old.
Right.
We have every living being, is animal, plants, or human being. So we are going to travel to that journey. And
Right.
In fact, for me, aging doesn't start at 60. Aging starts at one day on the mother's womb.
Right.
When we are the first day, so we age
Right.
every day. Like when
Right.
I celebrated my daughter's birthday, 18 year,
Right.
I sent card. It was written, my daughter is 18-year-old.
Right.
So we are growing old every day. So why there's a fuss about getting old at 60? So
Right.
this is one thing. Other many senior citizens have created their own self-image. Oh, abhi to I'm old. I don't want to do anything. I am
Right.
tired. I am
Right.
weak. So we have to change this image. And
Right.
society also need to see that there are going to be health challenges. As you grow old, your skin will wrinkle.
Right.
You'll have eyesight problem. You
Right.
will have hearing problem. So
Right.
there are assisted devices. There are things to be get help for. Health
Right.
will be issue,
Right.
diabetes, blood pressure, everything will crop up. But your mind and heart should never grow old. I
Right.
think that's the key message, because
Right.
in the Western country, what you see is they have been living the life where they not only enjoy the life, but they are doing meaningful activities. They're
Right.
getting involved in hobbies and skill. Here, 60 years, we are just working for the family or ourselves. And then after 60, bhajan karo.
Right.
Only spiritual, there's nothing else. So, but now, good thing is India is changing and seniors are changing. I find many seniors are very encouraging. They're doing marathon, they're doing active aging kind of thing. They're taking classes, they're doing digital thing. Uh, Mental illness will also crop up, right?
Right.
Because you're not mentally, physically fit, you are not mentally fit, so you want to have some problem, but take help from people. Family should come and support to them, because
Right.
remember, today they are old, tomorrow you will also get old.
Right.
So we need to create an environment and infrastructure, we help each other. A generation helping each other will create a better world.
Right. You're bringing up the point of infrastructure and what we can do. Could you talk to us a little about that? What are the things we can do perhaps a little better, maybe
Yeah.
at an individual level, or as organizations like yourself? What are the things we can do better or
So
differently?
yeah. So what we also I meant by infrastructure, I think individually also government level also is about create, because as you grow old, there. So first of all, there will be health challenges. So
Right.
we need to create ward-wise health centers for senior citizens, where
Right.
they can access healthcare, medical care for them. They need to have fitness centers, a gym for seniors,
Right.
where the fall is the greatest problem in the seniors for getting injuries. So fall preventions,
Right.
meditation, yogas.
Right.
Something can library infrastructure, a daycare center in the community every ward actually will create a better environment, where seniors go there having meaningful activities and they come back in the evening. So they have this part of independence, they have participation, and they're involved in some meaningful activities. I think
Right.
this is the key for what we do. Infrastructure, I'm also meant to have good roads. What we can do when we make buildings as an architect, we need to create a home where there's non-skid tiles, where the
Right.
toilet sit at such a level that old person doesn't have a problem.
Right.
The light switch should be at such a level that he or she doesn't have a problem. This small thing.
Right.
I live in Mumbai, right? So I have this local train. I need to go to from Borivali to Churchgate. I have to climb staircase. It's such a terrible for a person like me.
Right.
Imagine old people.
Right.
Of course, there are escalators and lift, but in escalator lift, young people are there, old people are not there.
Right.
Local train, gap between the platform, the train is very high. There is not low-lying buses everywhere. So we need to have transport. We need to have court and temples, which is elder-friendly. We need to have education institute which promote education for senior citizens. We need to have healthcare which is dedicated for senior citizens. We need to have banks and railway station, income tax offices where we have seats for senior citizens, where they are greeted with warm feeling, where there are cold drink or water available for them. So we need to train ourselves to take care of old people. That is very important. And also old people should train themselves. In the country, nobody teaches us how to grow old.
Right.
Everybody has been told how to be a good parent, good child, but how to be a good old or how you should be beneficial for yourself and society, nobody teaches us.
Right. Right. I think what you're saying kind of is highlighting one thing to me is that there's this whole notion that as young people or as non-elder people, if I had to call so, perhaps we would put this tag on elder people saying that they are a liability, and something to what you said, right? That sometimes they themselves tag themselves as liabilities, and that kind of stops things and acts as a barrier for them to live a life that they could. How much do you think media or films and all these things play as a role when it comes to things like these?
I think you have raised a very right question. Here,
Right.
media plays very big role. In fact, till recently, still going on, many actually television serials have been showing this mother-in-law, which is villain.
Right.
I think whole idea of to create old person as a villain, show her as a villain, is a big challenge, I think, because here it's the generation problem. It's not about she doesn't like a daughter-in-law or daughter-in-law doesn't like mother-in-law. So that is one thing. Also, many places, many ads or many things where elders have been shown as sick people.
Right.
Like there was movie I remember, Singh is King,
Right.
and there was one dialogue which says, "Senior citizens are bloody fool."
Okay.
And I was not aware that somebody told I like Bollywood. So I went for the movie and I saw the movie. I wrote a letter
Right.
to Anis Bazmi, I suppose Bharat Shah, and it was in Times of India also. I said, how dare you can talk? Because this is Indian Censor Board, Indian Advertising Board, which controls, which has the guidelines. It says you can't abuse a woman, you can't abuse animals. In fact, there is a, in all cinema, there is for animals. So why don't you have something for seniors? How can you abuse seniors? How can you be showing in the wrong figure? So I was told by one of the censor board member, it's joking. Why are you taking so seriously? Oh my God, seniors are not a joke. They are human beings like you and me. Tomorrow you will grow old. I'll make a joke of you. No, they have dignity. They have right, and they can't be discriminated because of their age. So media, but there are media stories, especially print media and now social media, coming up with a lot of good stories. Some seniors is growing plant, somebody is running a kitchen, somebody is getting educated at 90, passing at 10. So this positive story, I think old age has a problem, no denial. And you and I also have a problem. But we should not promote problems. Here, we should talk about good stories. We need to inspire people. There are many good people, old people are doing amazing work. Right. So we need to promote that. And media has a right and they have this power to create good stories, positive stories, which will inspire others. To make the country which treasures the old people is a superpower.
Right. Right. almost as a follow-up, would you like to talk to us a little more about the different kinds of myths that kind of surrounds elder care and their right to live and the life that they should live, if we have missed out on anything?
Yeah, there are a lot of myths, but one of the myths is old people are always sick.
Right.
So if you just go to any hospital, and I don't want you to go to a hospital, but when you go, just
Right.
find out a list of patients there. You will find there are 50% old people, 50% young people.
Right.
The old person is always not sick. There's
Right.
always a myth called old people are victim to crime. Sorry, all youngsters are also victim of crime. There are a lot
Right.
many fraud and scandals and accidents happening. For old people are in poverty. Sorry,
Right.
they are not poor. They might be poor because of their mismanagement of financials.
Right.
Example, my mother's women's in India, like because feminization is happening. I think that's one important topic. We tend to write our property, gift our property to son,
Right.
to son-in-law, to grandchild, not to wife, not to daughter. So
Right.
here, when they get old, they don't have anything.
Right.
When my father died, my mother did not knew what is in a bank account, what shares he has, whose house is her. So we need to empower women. I think that is important. So they are not poor. Other thing is that many seniors are very religious people.
Right.
But I find many youngsters are now religious. Many
Right.
people practice spirituality. So that doesn't, this is all, and old people are less productive. Again,
Right.
this is wrong.
Right.
I can see there are three categories of old people now.
Right.
One is 60 to 69, that is young old, 70 to 79 old, and 80 plus is very old. So there
Right.
are this young old who can outperform youngsters. They
Right.
have wisdom, they have experience, and they should be and can be used as the talent, as the resource for the country. They are the
Right.
gold mine. I
Right.
think we are not able to utilize this. I think if we all try to break this myth, don't just respect elderly, care for them, and involve them in your daily activities. I think
Right.
that will make us much better country.
Right. I think I will definitely vouch for one of the myths that you have bust right now, which is that elderly people are not active. To the contrary, my great grandmother, who's 100 years old, is the most active person I have seen till date. She'll be the
Okay.
first person to wake up, amongst the family. She's always in the kitchen doing something, always offering to help, and all of those things. So I completely agree with all the myths that you have said, and definitely age is just a number, and it's about how you feel from within. I would like to talk a little bit about some of the stats that you shared with us, and bring attention to one of the other important things that you spoke about, which is that you told us that nearly 40% of elders who are living with their families reportedly face some kind of abuse or
Mm.
another, right? And there's a myth that maybe only 1 in 6 of them actually speak about it. And of course, by abuse, we mean different kinds of abuse. Could you shed some light on this, having some kind of experience?
Yeah, so in India, HelpAge India is one organization which does this all annual survey on elder abuse,
Okay.
and now government of India is also coming up with abuse details. So we
Okay.
have found around 40% plus elders are abused in some form of abuse. So
Right.
what are elder abuse? There are many types of elder abuse. Elder abuse is physical abuse, psychological abuse, where you taunt, you blackmail elderly, sexual abuse. I think we are not surprised to read many rapes report, molestation report for 60 plus women. There's
Right.
financial abuse, scams, property cheating, kind of thing happening. So this abuse is happening. But when we talk about abuse, it is always seen as the outsider is doing an abuse, and
Right.
here the impression is wrong.
Right.
The survey says, the crime report, NCRB report shows it's the family members who are abusing the old people.
Right.
The number one is son, daughter-in-law. In fact, that is the survey, and
Right.
relative. So family and or 30 to 40% only are outsiders, but
Right.
maximum people who are abusing it family members.
Right.
And here it is a shame. We think it's a
Right.
stigma and shame to talk about abuse. How can I talk about my son and daughter-in-law, grandchild? In fact, husband, wife also abuse each other when they are old. So it's not happening. So where to report? And some people come to us for reporting also. We take them to police station. They withdraw because nobody wants the son and daughter to go to jail. right? So here we don't mean we have to send somebody to jail, but nobody has a right to abuse another person. You can't physical hit, psychological hit anybody, or financial abuse anybody. We have to raise voice. Senior citizen, if you are not able to raise your voice, it's okay, but raise your voice among your peer group.
Right.
Make a group of friends
Right.
where you can talk about it. So when you talk about something, your problem get lessened. There might be solution somewhere where
Right.
I can talk to your son, what is your problem? I can talk to daughter-in-law, what is your problem? So
Right.
the things can be solved. If it is not solved, then there is a maintenance act, which is a very good act, which helps senior citizen not to go to police station, but go to a report to a tribunal in collector office where abuse can be handled, and it has been addressed. But senior needs to come out. It is underreported, and it is a big challenge, because if you don't, if you're undergoing abuse, you'll have health problem, physical and mental health problem, and then you will suffer, and then everybody, it's a negative environment.
Right.
So, and people who are abusive, I need to tell them, because someday your son and daughter will also abuse you, because they are watching you, they will copy you.
Right. Right. The points that you're raising is bringing to my mind. Is there awareness about these places that they can reach out to, or the procedures to elder people? Is there awareness amongst the elder people, or is that one of the challenges that the elder people face?
Yes, that is also came out in survey. They don't know whom to approach. I think the police
Right.
is the only thing came to a people's mind. But I think police is something people don't look for going out. But there are a lot of NGOs, organization all over India. Helpage India is there, Dignity Foundation is there, Silver Link is there, Nightingale is there. There are many organizations working all over India that they can approach. Also now many cities, many states have started elder helpline. Tata Trust has also started something. So you just need to call the organization and they will help you. There are counselor appointed, there are advocate appointed. You don't have to go to court. It's just, we need to understand. We need to have empathy. We have empathy to you. So you need to reach out to us. Don't be ashamed. We are not going to ashamed or write somebody's name, your son and daughter is going to abuse you. But we are going to try to help you. Sometimes there is a problem in adjustment. Sometimes some seniors are create. I'm not telling all seniors are good. There are some seniors who might also create problems. So we need to try to make a balance, and that will help. We don't want policing society. We want a society which understands each other and lives in harmony. And there are organizations, there are helplines, there are many other NGOs, women organization, other NGOs, small NGOs in the rural area, collector office is there, social welfare department in every district is there. So they all are aware, but they need to go out, and we also keep watch. We have helpline, we have emails, people call us, we try to help. If I can't help, then we refer to other people.
Right.
So there is a things happen, but it's very slow, very small in number. The senior population is much big. Our work is only drop in the ocean.
Right. Okay, so that's definitely one part of the conversation. I think one thing that we really wanted to talk about, because it's also your area of expertise, or the area that you have spent most of your time in, which is in dementia. Could you talk to us a little about that and how that affects most elder, especially in a country like India?
Yeah, dementia is a brain disorder which is progressive, non-curable, but treatable. It generally gets to people who are 60 plus, and most of the people get when chances are more if you're 80 plus. It is a brain disorder. It doesn't mean he or she is mad. There is a problem in memory. They might get lost, forget some memory. They might have a memory. I think is not a problem. The problem comes when there is a behavior problem. They might forget activity of daily living. I think that is the biggest problem with dementia, where you forget brushing the teeth, you forget bathing, you forget toilet, you forget eating, you forget names, you forget daily routine, you forget money. So it's a confusion, disorientation. This is happening, and this is progressive. And because we as an individual, we are different. You are different. I am different. My 5 fingers are different. So every individual suffering will be different.
Right.
Magnitude of because somebody 60 plus might have second stage of dementia, but somebody 80 plus still are very active. They have dementia, but they're very active.
Right.
But in India, luckily, at present, 4.3% is dementia. People are suffering. That is around 43 lakhs. It's a very small number. The research says it might be due to Indian spices we have, especially curcumin, the haldi in our ingredient. Second thing is because the family environment, family structure we stay close connected with the family.
Right.
I think that is one of the reasons we have lesser. And
Right.
also it might be less because there is no pan India survey. So there is no agency. There's a small survey which says this number. So there is no survey. But for dementia, one thing is to remember: the person who is suffering is a sufferer, but the carer, the family members also suffer.
Right.
Because there is a caregiver burnout. Generally, it's the daughter or daughter-in-law who is the caregiver.
Right.
But nowadays, daughters are not there, daughter-in-law also not there because they're also working. The dementia person is at home with nobody. And there are very few agencies who are working with dementia. There are hardly any caregiver available, very trained caregiver. There is hardly 10 or 15 infrastructure in India, facility, homes or daycare in India to look after 40 lakh people. There is a stigma attached to it. People don't want to talk about it. But my request, if you find any person 60 plus who has dementia, who is forgetful, who has a memory loss, or who is also has a behavioral problem, they need to go to a psychiatrist or a neurologist for diagnosis. If
Right.
it's diagnosed in early stage, it can be treated and they can be helped. So there is lot many things to talk about dementia where we can talk. But one more thing is there are different types of dementia. Alzheimer's, vascular dementia is more in India. If you take good care of your brain, if you are mentally active, you keep yourself busy, senior citizens especially in meaningful activities. You do Sudokus, you do brain games, you read, you learn new languages, you learn
Right.
music, some creativity, and you keep your heart healthy. You have good diet, fresh fruits, dry fruits or vegetable. You keep yourself fit and you sleep well. It's key to manage prevent dementia.
Right. Right. And any small steps that we can do, irrespective of whether we're the youth or the elder, to kind of be a little more mindful of the way we treat people with dementia.
Yeah, so we what we need to do as a young people also, because if you want to prevent dementia or who has dementia, first of all, prevention starts from 40. I think we should catch people young. We
Right.
start aging, actually body dementia start at 40, 45 of age. It shows the sign is very late. So if you have good habits, like alcohol, drugs, smoking, need to avoid it. Uh, Late nights need to be avoided. Junk foods, pizzas and burgers, all maida things should be avoided. If you have good lifestyle, if you not overwork, you spend time on yourself, you take a
Right.
break. Every 3 months, you go out, you enjoy, give time to yourself, listen to music, dancing. That is my favorite thing to I tell people. Also
Right.
to learn new skill. It can be any skill, and make friend. Loners are more prone to dementia and Alzheimer's. So if you are young, try to do something which is good for your old age and dementia. And also people, if you find anybody suffering with dementia, there are times you find person in railway station, bus station, on the road, somebody lost. Please help. Don't just go away. Call
Right.
the police. There are people, agencies who can help. So there are some people who might not know what is the problem, but we can help them. As youngsters, we can help them. And as an old person, if you know somebody in the building is suffering, try to
Right.
help the family. If you
Right.
can't directly intervene, ask them, do you need help? And this COVID created a lot of problems.
Right. I think that's a great segue to what I was meaning to ask next anyway, which is that we know that, the whole pandemic, of course, it's unfortunate and it's testing times and it's put a lot of us into situations that we wouldn't have expected to be in, right? And that means a lot of us being by ourselves, our own thoughts and no company at all. Of course, there was this whole thing that was happening about care for elders, them being lonely. Could you talk to us about how COVID has impacted elder care? Has it helped? Has it not helped? Could you talk to us?
it, COVID has come as a surprise and we were not prepared. I think the world was not prepared.
Right.
I don't blame only India,
Right.
but it came as a shocking. I think there are two types of problem that happen. One is at the institution level or old age home level, facility level, what we all face. And
Right.
the other problem, old people who are in home. So there were
Right.
two problems.
Right.
From the first, government start saying that old people should not go out. So that was
Right.
the first instruction. Initially, people followed. But remember, old people need to go out.
Right.
They have diabetes, they have blood pressure, they need to walk, they need to
Correct.
have fresh air, they
Yes.
need to go to doctor. All hospital will close for non-COVID people. So they could not attend or take healthcare for what is required for them. They were scared. They were not allowed to go out. So initially 1-2 months was very easy, family time, people spending. Slowly people started getting irritated
Right.
with each other. And many elder abuse also happened in that way. So
Right.
elder senior citizens suffer more. People who were needed care, like dementia, Alzheimer, bedridden with disability, caregiver was not available.
Right.
What happened? There was no permission. There was no local transport available. Like Mumbai city, we have local trains, so it was closed, and police was not giving permission. We had to write to government to at least include old age as a emergency services. It was not included. Very late government did. Also, what I saw was many societies, housing society became police. They stop people
Right.
to help each other. They stop old people going out. They stop people helping them, many societies. They stop caregivers coming to the housing society. Remember, many old people stay alone. They need ayabais, they need maid to clean the house, they need cook. There was nobody available. And nobody knocked their door and asked, do you need help? We got a lot of requests for ration, for vegetable. There were children staying away. They needed to, and they were, I got a call from Kandivali. The lady was crying. Her son was in Australia and society was not allowing her to go out. And they were not allowing grocery store to come up. How they will take milk? I went with 2 bags of ration to give it to an old person, and he was staying on 4th floor. And I called him and I said, okay, I will come down. And I saw he was very frail. He was coming down, and there was youth standing and watchmen standing. I said, please help him. They did not allow me to go out inside, and they did not help him. So it was such a. So I in fact bribed the watchman. Sorry to use that word, to help that old person to take the. So as a society, as a government, as an individual, we need to understand there are this vulnerable people who are old people. In COVID, they had very problem. And as an institution, what problem we face? Local villages stopped us, our staff, to go for work.
Right.
So that was one problem. Again, grocery, day-to-day activity, day-to-day things we need to buy. We were prepared, but many institutions were not prepared.
Right.
So, but this COVID had taught us lessons. And the government and we need to prepare a plan. In fact, Government of India is also making a plan for COVID. In fact, United Nations had made a COVID plan for older people, and we were at Silver Inning, we were part of it. So I think Government of India and we all make plan for every part individual, like women, children, old people. So we'll be prepared because COVID will keep on happening. This is not one incident.
Right.
We need to have emergency plan for old people. And that is
Right.
needed in this country very badly.
Right. Right. Definitely, I think that's one conversation that needed to be had. Could you perhaps mention a few helplines, a few organizations that one could reach out to for elders that need care? We'll also put this in the chat box for people who need it at a later point. But could you mention a few?
I will just go through it. Helpage India is there.
Right.
Helpage India is 1800.
Right.
180-1253.
Right.
I will repeat, 1800-180-1253 is the national helpline of Helpage India, which can be called upon at any time, and they will connect you to different people. Then there's a Dignity Foundation, which is available 022-613-81111. I'll send a number.
We will do this. We will put up all the contact details once this video goes out.
Silver Inning numbers. Yeah. So there are many helplines. I will give you.
We'll do that. We're almost unfortunately coming to the end of this conversation, but it feels like there's so much that needs to be spoken about. I would like to leave with this question, which is that could you talk to us a little about what the Western countries, or Sweden, which is said to be one of the better countries that takes care of its elder people, because of course, like you pointed out, the facilities are much better there. Do you agree? Do you think that the facilities are better there? And what is it that they are doing right, or what we can kind of follow from what they're doing?
Generally, I don't believe what is right and wrong, because it's about the individual country, the living standard, the way, the culture.
Right.
India is right in our way. But what Western country has done, I said earlier, they got rich first and old later. So they had all things ready. In fact, Sweden has 3.6% of GDP for long-term care. 3.6%. So they have created a fund. What they are doing actually is they are creating an environment with age friendly, like they are disabled friendly, women friendly world. They have age friendly societies where they are promoting home care.
Right.
They are promoting home care. Municipalities has started providing care. Like you need a psychologist, you need meal service, you need a physiotherapist, you need IMI, they will provide you. So it's a lower, not the central government, but the lower rank municipality is doing this work. Also, they have social security with India. I think this badly needed. 90% of elderly don't have any pension. What they do, they save at young age. Like example, if I save 1% of my income, every year I pay like a PF, Provident Fund, and that goes to my old age pension, and then government contributes, so we'll have a big income. So in fact, they are promoting pension. Money is the biggest challenge for taking care. If you have money, you can do many things. So third is healthcare. They have one of the best healthcare facilities, which are targeted to old people. There's something called geriatric ward. In India, geriatric care is new world. It's very infant. It's very new. So we need to create that. They have the infrastructure where gerontology, geriatric is created. It talked about. It's very normal.
Right.
So in India, old age is still not normal. We consider it abnormal. Some people consider old age as a disease.
Right.
I think here, old age is one more age, which is a good opportunity. In fact, I think lastly, I would like to say it's a silver economy or matured economy, which all young people should explore, government should explore. Western countries doing that, and they are enabling with technology.
Right.
They're enabling with research and development for old people. The country is growing old faster. They have 20% population of old people. Here we are growing, but by 2050, India will be 30 million people of old person.
Right. I think that almost brings us to the end of the conversation. Any last thoughts? Anything you'd like to leave us with? Any advice?
Yeah, so I have two things to say.
Right.
three things, if you allow me.
Sure.
Okay. So first is aging is not lost youth, but new stage of opportunity.
Right.
And next message for young people is today you are junior, tomorrow you will be senior. Remember that.
Right.
And for all the corporate, CSR and government, old age is not sunset, it's a sunrise.
Right.
It's sunrise industry. Please concentrate. There's a new opportunity for old people. There are people who can afford, there are people who can't afford. We need to have enabling environment where all people can stay together and create a society for all ages, where all ages stay without any discrimination.
Right. I think that's very well put, and thank you so much for summarizing that so well. Last but definitely not the least is, could you tell us how you've remained so positive in these testing and trying times? Anything that you have done to stay optimistic in these times?
Yeah, especially in this COVID difficult time, I went out every day. I practice what government says. I wore mask. I clean my hand. I had vitamin C. But I pray every day. That's one thing. And helping people, living with people, talking to them is my positive energy. And like I'm speaking to you, I'm getting energy from you. Right. So we have a lot of bad thing around us, but I take good thing from bad people also. Right. I think that's my energy.
Right. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that this conversation has helped a lot of people, and I hope this kind of ripples into larger conversations, everywhere around us. Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time and helping us understand, elder care and how that it's a second chance to life, or that they do deserve life. And it's, you're 18 years old, similarly, you're 60 years old, and it's just a number. I certainly learned a lot. I do hope that everybody else did. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you to all of those who joined us today. We're more than excited to take this series forward. We have a lot of other conversations coming forward. If you know people that you would like to, you'd want us to kind of talk to, or different organizations, please do mention them in the comments or reach out to us on Dialogue Space, and we'd be more than happy to speak to people. On that note, I'd like to sign off. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you.
Everyone else also, thank you. Stay safe and stay positive.